Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. It is time for my NFL Week 12 picks and predictions. I am back in my household for this week as it is Thanksgiving break. And people, we're going to be in flux on this channel for the next couple years as I actually enter my career over the upcoming years. So just get used to the changing locations from time to time. With that said, let's start with the Thursday games, with the Thanksgiving games, the games of which you may or may not enjoy, depending on whether or not you are able to find a TV and watch these football games as you eat your Thanksgiving lunches and brunches and dinners with your family and friends. We have the first game, the Minnesota the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. The NBA has started indeed, and I have been watching. So we have the Vikings at the Detroit Lions. And last week, I picked the Lions to lose in Chicago, and damn it, they were so close to proving me right, but they proved me wrong. And I said, you know what? I need to pick the Lions, because I rarely pick the Lions. I picked them enough. I think this year I picked them about 5 times, and of those 5 times, they've won 4. I need to give them some more credit. Let me see what they're facing next week. And damn it, I saw the Minnesota Vikings. I was prepared, people. I was prepared to pick the Lions as long as they weren't facing the top 5 teams in the NFL. And these are one of the top 5 teams in the NFL right now. The Vikings are borderline, but they're close enough to where I don't want to pick against them right now. I ain't picking against the Patriots under any circumstances, the Saints under any circumstances. The Rams, it depends on who they're facing. If they're facing another top 5 team, then they're in trouble. Vikings, same thing, but this is another top 5 team. This is a team outside of the top 5 right now. And the Detroit Lions, although they are formidable, and because the Seahawks are struggling, it looks like the Lions can take advantage and make the playoffs themselves. They have to look out for the Falcons as well. I'm looking out for the Lions, but man, I would be nuts to pick against the Minnesota Vikings right now. It doesn't make any sense that they're putting up so many points with Case Keenum, Adam Thielen, and Jerick McKinnon, but these guys are actually good. At least Case Keenum appears to be good. McKinnon, I can buy that he's good, and Adam Thielen is actually really good. Okay, so all 3 of these men that none of us thought very much of heading into this year have surprised us all. And Thielen, look, I thought he was all right. I thought he was even pretty good. I didn't think he was this damn good. This guy might be a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. You can make an argument for top 5, but let's let him get another year under his belt before we start that discussion. You need at least 2 years of really good play to be a top 5 wide receiver to me. Give me the Vikings to go to Detroit and win here because I just can't pick against them right now. Unless they're facing the Patriots or the Saints, I got to pick the Vikings until they lose something. All right, next give me the LA Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers at the Dallas Cowboys. And I said mid-season. I said in my mid-season predictions, one of the bold predictions, the bold-ish predictions that I made was that the 3-6 LA Chargers would finish the year, no, they were 3-5 at the time, and I said they would finish the year 8-8, and I'm holding on to that. They are about to make a second half surge, and you were beginning to see the remnants of that last week as they scored 54 points on the Buffalo Bills. This Chargers team is about to start running, whereas the Dallas Cowboys are trending down. They're in trouble. And Dak Prescott, he is now facing some criticism, and I haven't made enough great game recaps this year. I apologize for that, but I still think he's good, people. In fact, I mean, what is he? He's now like 16 or 17 touchdowns to maybe 9 interceptions. I still think he's pretty good. The problem is, I don't think he has much in terms of his wide receiving core. I think Dez Bryant's almost done, people. He's definitely, to me, he's done as a pure, reliable #1 option. I think he's kind of like what Brandon Marshall was for the Chicago Bears. Like, he can be your #1, but I'd rather have someone else. And you need to find your Alshon Jeffrey, if you know what I'm saying. Like, Brandon Marshall at one point was definitely #1. And Dez Bryant, you could argue, is better than Brandon Marshall was in terms of they're both career peaks. The best of Dez Bryant was better than the best of Brandon Marshall. But even that's debatable, by the way. I think at this stage, the Cowboys need someone else. And Terrence Williams, Bryce Butler, and the aging Jason Witten, they're not enough. So their passing game isn't sufficient enough. Their running game certainly isn't without Ezekiel Elliott. And their defense, you see the holes in their defense without their run game. You got to give me the LA Chargers to go to Dallas and get the win on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day. I think the Cowboys need to go out after this year and find another weapon in the wide receiver corps, either someone better than Dez Bryant or someone just under Dez Bryant. That way you could have two number 1B wide receivers, or you could have a number 1A and a number 1B, and you have a nice wide receiving corps right there. Because to me, Dez is still a number 1, but he's a 1B, right? He's a 1B. He's no longer 1A. He's a 1B and a really good 2A. Okay, so if he's your number 2 wide receiver, you love that. Okay, so yeah. Next game, we have the New York Giants at the Washington Redskins. The Giants. They won last week. Damn them, right? They somehow cannot beat the 49ers when I pick them. When I pick the 49ers to beat them. They can't do that for me. They can't do that for me. But whatever. They're going up against a team last week that they shouldn't beat. They beat them. And who am I talking about? I don't even know. The Kansas City Chiefs. That's who it was. So they go and they beat Kansas City. It made absolutely no sense. It was in New York. But still, this is ridiculous. So only God knows if the Giants are going to show up and win this game. The Redskins. You know, here's the thing. They have been stammering a bit lately, but their schedule has been very difficult. And they went to Seattle and they beat Seattle, and they lost to New Orleans in New Orleans. You know, so these have been some respectable losses. I still see a respectable team in Washington, and they lost to Minnesota in Washington, but that's Minnesota. So they've had a tough stretch and they've lost in this tough stretch. Now we're having an easier stretch. Give me them to at least beat the New York Giants, and they're going to make something out of this race. I feel like, again, the Redskins have been losing to these tough teams. I think they're going to make a run at this NFC wild card. We'll see if they can make it. I think it starts here. I think they beat the New York Giants Thursday Night Football. We move on to the Sunday games. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. And whoa, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been playing better without Jameis Winston. Guys, it's kind of true. And it's okay. I mean, because Winston is actually having, I think, one of his better statistical years. 10 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, a decent completion percentage. But that killer instinct, that winning factor, that it factor people thought he had, he kind of doesn't have. You know, even last year when the Bucs were winning games, it really was never because of Jameis Winston. I mean, he would definitely help, but I felt the defense was strong. And now that the defense is weak, they're struggling. And he may or may not play in this game. I think he's going to be out. But regardless, that's just a simple thought I have on that. Look, the Falcons appear to be ready to roll. Somewhat. Their schedule upcoming is a bit difficult, but I think they're going to get enough of these games done to maybe ultimately make it. So give me the Falcons to win this game and to start to get themselves in the NFC wildcard race. In fact, right now they should be. The 60, they're tied right now, the Lions and the Seahawks. I'm not sure who has a tiebreaker. I don't really care. I don't think it's going to matter by the end of the season. Maybe they'll be tied with one team, but not with both. So give me the Falcons to win this game, and we'll see if they make it down the road. We have the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals, and this is an interesting thing. And I looked up some statistics about the Cleveland Browns. You know, their defense is actually not bad. Their defense is actually about league average, the Cleveland Browns. In fact, it's even, I think, a little above league average. And I remember this was true at least 1 or 2 weeks ago. They had not allowed a 300-yard passer or a 100-yard rusher. Now, that may have been broken last week. I'd have to check that, but I'm not even sure about that. So I don't think they did that. No, Leonard Fournette broke the 100 yards. I don't think Blake Bortles broke 300. The Browns defense ain't bad. This is actually a better team than they were last year, but they're still awful because their quarterback position is a disaster in terms of having any winning instinct whatsoever. Like a winning quarterback would have won last week against Jacksonville. They gave him too many chances. Deshaun Kaiser had 3 game-winning potential drives and failed on all of them, miserably. On all the game-winning drives, he failed. Okay, failed, got another chance, failed, got another chance, failed. Okay, so he's just not very good. I know I liked him coming out, but I don't think he's very good. I'm sorry. I'm already off the Deshaun Kaiser bandwagon. I think I've seen enough. Give me the Bengals to win this game, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be low scoring, and I think the Browns will get a win this year. They got to start Cody Kessler to me. I'm done with Deshaun Kaiser, and if the Browns end up having their Texans pick, remember they own the Texans pick, if that pick is also in the top 10, I think the Browns have to spend one of those top 10 picks on a quarterback. To me, the first pick, quarterback, and then the 10th pick or the 9th pick or the 8th pick, take whatever the hell you want. If you got 2 top 10 picks, you got to take a quarterback. If you ain't got one, and the Browns currently don't have one, we'll talk about that later. All right, we move on to the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm begging you, please, Tennessee Titans. Okay, the AFC is so easy right now to get a damn playoff spot. All we need to go is 9-7. Hell, we may go 8-8 and get it done. Okay, honestly, look at the AFC wildcard race. Okay, so with this in mind, just win this game. You know, we have 4 easy games coming up. We're facing the Colts this week. After this week, I think we face the Texans. And then we face the 49ers. And then the Cardinals. And some order like that. You know, we got to get these games done. Those are 4 wins that we should get. I'm expecting us to lose 1. But maybe to upset the Rams. And maybe I'm being a little presumptuous there. I probably am. More cross that bridge when we get there. For now, win this game in Indianapolis, please. And Corey Davis, can you please show me a little more something in this game, please? Please, okay, hopefully. And the Colts, look, you know your season's over. You know you're trying to get a high draft pick to help surround Andrew Luck with talent. This is an interesting thing. Look, people, I have not watched college football this year at all. Except for Vanderbilt games because I go to Vanderbilt. So I don't really know what's going on, but from what I understand, this draft class isn't great. So it doesn't look like the Colts picked the best time to have a horrible season, but whatever. They're having a horrible season, giving the time to win this game. Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs. Man, this team has been struggling lately, dog. You know, mid-season, they were 6-3, and I still projected them to go 12-4, because although I understood that they were stumbling and bubbling, Jesus Christ, their second half schedule was awful in terms of being teams that are just awful. So it's really good, actually. So I just thought, man, this team should just roll through this schedule, and it's going to start after the bye week as they travel to New York and face the horrible New York Giants. How wrong was I? As they couldn't even handle the awful New York Giants. Okay, Cop Pizzle was even happy about that one. So we have problems. I don't know what's wrong with this team right now, but speaking of something that's wrong with this team, how about what's wrong with the other team? As the Buffalo Bills looked like a damn disaster last week. They allowed 54 points to the LA Chargers, and what did I tell you last week? Why the hell are the Buffalo Bills starting Nathan Peterman, who is as white as his name suggests? He is as white as his name suggests. Now look, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the guy went out there and threw 5 interceptions in 1 half. Literally, the worst performance in the history of mankind, ever. In any sport, anytime, ever. You'll never, ever see anything ever like that again, ever. 5 interceptions in a half. Give me the Chiefs, because look, I know they're moving on from Peterman, they're going back to Tyrod Taylor, but the past 2 games, the Bills gotten their asses kicked. Okay, they allowed 47 to the Saints, and I know I said when the Titans got their ass kicked by the Texans earlier this year, I didn't care because it's only 1 game. Yeah, that was only 1 game. Now the Bills have 2, as the week after they got their ass kicked. Okay, 2 ass kickings in a row. You have my attention. Now I'm concerned. Give me the Chiefs to win this game, but both these teams are stumbling to the finish line right now. Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. I'm taking some time. Let's hurry this up. All right, so we have the next game here. Look, the Dolphins are overrated, and I tried to warn y'all. You know, the Dolphins started good. They were, what, 4-2? Maybe 4-3? And I'm like, look, this is not going to last. This is BS. They got Jay Cutler at quarterback. They moronically traded away Jay Ajayi. Look, maybe this guy's knees are going to be done in a year and a half or whatever. Okay, this season is now done because you traded Jay Ajayi away. How about that for a tongue twister? You traded Jay Ajayi away. It made no sense. Now you got Kenyon Drake, who can't do anything. Nothing. And Damian Williams, who, okay, maybe this guy's okay, but is he going to be in the league in 4 years? I'll bet my money no. Give me the Patriots to whoop the Dolphins' asses. And what did I tell y'all after the Patriots lost to the Panthers and they started 1-2? Relax, they're going to be freaking fine. What did I tell you after week 1? Relax, they're going to be freaking fine. I just wish we would actually learn stuff. Like, we go through this every year with the overreaction stuff, and we just never learn. Like, literally, how many people did I have in my comment section after week 1 saying the Chiefs are so good, the Patriots are so bad, and now look at their fortunes. Look at their fortunes now. You have to take the NFL week by week, people. When you start making too many conclusions, you're going to get in trouble. We move on to the next game. Carolina Panthers at the New York Jets. And look, looks like the Jets' luck maybe has run out. You know, I thought they were going to win a couple weeks ago. Who were they facing? I think it was a team that I can't remember. It is a team that I can't remember. It was the Bucs. And at first I thought they were going to win that game, and they let me down. And the Bucs aren't very good, so if they couldn't win that, they're not going to beat Carolina. Carolina's been very good this year. They're coming off of a bye week now. I expect more of the same from them. A big, boring snore fest of a game, but the Panthers get it done easily. 21-7, give me the Carolina Panthers. Next game, we have the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles. And look, I don't understand. Look, every week I have Bears fans commenting, I need to give them more respect. Why? I picked y'all to win last week. That there was your respect. And what'd you do with it? You did nothing with it. You almost won the game if you didn't have a horrible kicker. But y'all been looking for a kicker ever since Robbie Gould's balding head left the damn city. You know, so that's on you. Now you're traveling to Philly, where Philly is doing great. And I upset some Eagle fans last week because I said the Eagles are going to slow down, and they will. And some felt that I singled them out and I didn't talk about the Saints or the Rams. No, they're going to slow down too. Well, Rams are already slowing down. The Saints are going to slow down too. In fact, we even saw remnants of that last week. If you're really hot, you're going to slow down. If you're really hot, let's say early to mid-season. Now, this is the time you really want to get hot. The Eagles are not going to sustain this level of play. You hope, like, they're not going to beat every team from here on out by 20-plus points. They're just not. What you hope is that when they scale back, they're still going to beat teams by 7, by 3, by 4. They're going to consistently beat teams, but they're just not going to sustain this. They're just not. It's just not going to happen. I guarantee you it sucks. It's not great. It's what's going to happen. But you can still win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying you can't. Just expect to scale back. It's not going to start this week. You know, the Chicago Bears aren't going to give that to you. So give me the Eagles to win this game. But I know the 2 games after this, and let me check what the games are. I think that's when the trouble could start, because I'm still projecting 13-3 for the Eagles. I still see 2 losses, and yes, they travel to Seattle, they travel to LA, and even the New York Giants. I know they're awful. I know. But this is a divisional matchup, and we've seen in years past, even when the Eagles were awful, when they went 4-12, even they upset some teams in their division. Same goes for when the Dallas Cowboys went 4-12. In the NFC East, even when teams are awful, they're able to win within their own division. So I'm also versus the Raiders and versus the Cowboys. Of these 5 games, I still see 2 losses. The Eagles are going to slow down, I guarantee you. But even with them slowing down, they could still be easily good enough to go win the Super Bowl. So I'm not saying that you're not going to be able to win the Super Bowl. I'm saying you're going to slow down. Because I'm literally seeing some Eagles fans saying, that's it, it's over. We're going all the way to the Super Bowl. We're going to win everything, because they've won so convincingly over the past 3 weeks. I'm saying chill, dog. Because there's going to be a scale back, and the Chiefs fans of the world, they know that too well right now. We move on to the next game. We have the New Orleans Saints at the LA Rams. Give me the New Orleans Saints, okay? And I struggle with this. Look, again, I can't pick against the Saints right now. I really can't. However, the LA Rams, I feel they could really show up and win this game in LA, rebounding off of last week when they let me down, because I picked them to beat the Vikings in Minnesota. Probably foolish of me. But we look at the Rams' losses this year, okay? They lost to Seattle, a difficult opponent. They lost to the Washington Redskins, a decent opponent. They lost to the Vikings last week, a really good opponent. Who have they beaten? They beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville, their best win. They beat the Cardinals, Giants, Texans, 49ers, Cowboys, and Colts. They can't really beat really good teams. The best one is Jacksonville, and depending on the week, Jacksonville may not be playing up to their potential, right? And I think that was one of those weeks. So I don't think the Rams are very good against the best teams in the NFC or the NFL for that matter. So I can't pick them to beat a team like this. Give me the New Orleans Saints to win this game in LA. Next game, we have the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. Seahawks. But I think it's going to be too close, okay? Stupid close for this matchup. You know, obviously, empirically, the Seahawks should whip the 49ers' ass anytime they play. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the Seahawks are going to make this way too close. I think the defense is falling down, and I have them going to the Super Bowl. I won't retract it officially because they're not out of the running yet, but I don't like my chances. I'll say that. So give me the Seahawks to win this game. I think it's going to be too close than it should be, closer than it should be. And I'm not going to like that. But I think the Seahawks will get it done. Our next game, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Arizona Cardinals. And the Jaguars continue to win games. I felt last week that they may trip up against the Cleveland Browns, and you saw they almost did. If the Browns had a quarterback capable of winning anything, perhaps the Browns win that game. And by the way, Jaguar fans, that's why I was trying to tell you earlier when the Titans almost lost to the Browns. Almost losing to the Browns, it doesn't really mean anything. You can still be good and almost lose to the Browns. In fact, as I've said, the Browns defense is actually quite good. So they're going to limit you offensively. It just depends how awful they are offensively that day. Now I'm traveling to Arizona. And Arizona let me down last week. I thought they were going to go to Houston and beat Houston. They couldn't get it done. I don't think they get it done here. But again, I'm looking out because the Jaguars, last 2 weeks, they've won. You know, they've beaten the Chargers and they've beaten the Browns. They've been very impressive. Although, like I've consistently said, as long as you win, that's fine. So I'm picking you to win, but I'm picking it to yet again not be very impressive. Okay, so that's just the trend that I'm seeing. That's what I'm sticking with. Give me the Jaguars to win this one. Denver Broncos at the Oakland Raiders. All right, so the Broncos are a damn disaster. Wow. And here we go. Another team that learned that, yeah, you can really slow down, as this team started either 3-0 or 3-1. So this is bad in Denver. And now they're turning to Paxton Lynch, who I'm convinced can't really play. I've never seen anything from Paxton Lynch at the NFL level to suggest he's ever going to be anything ever. I've never seen it. Sorry, me, haven't seen it. So give me the Raiders to win this game, although they're not playing great either. I mean, they got their ass kicked last week in Estadio Azteca, okay, in Mexico City. So I can't trust this team, Los Raiders. But they're in Oakland, and they're capable of winning something, while the Broncos don't appear to be. So give me the Raiders to win this game. Green Bay Packers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game, obviously. Look, Brett Hundley stinks. And I knew this coming out. I knew when he came out of the draft, he wasn't very good, but damn, he stinks. I think he's easily the worst quarterback we've seen start this year. Hold on. We have the worst quarterback ever in Nathan Peterman. We have my stink awards, like my stink Hall of Fame. We got 3 names right now: Nathan Peterman, Bryce Petty, and Brett Hundley. These guys stink. Okay, I mean, like, otherworldly stink. Okay, the past 2 years, they're in my stink Hall of Fame. Steelers to win at home. Next game, Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. This is the final game. This is the Monday Night Football game. And the Texans impressed me last week. They got it done. They beat the Arizona Cardinals in Houston. Cool. But now you're going to Baltimore, and Baltimore has their noses set on the wild card. They're currently in the wild card. They're currently the 6th seed, and if the Titans choke this week, they'll still be the 6th seed. But at least now they'll be tied for positioning with the Tennessee Titans. And if the Titans lose again next week, then they'll pass the Titans. That's why you got to win that tiebreaker game, boys. Give me the Ravens to win this game at home as they sniff the playoffs, and Joe Flacco will remain the quarterback for the Ravens if they make the playoffs this year, for better or worse. So there you go. Those are my NFL Week 12 picks and predictions. What are your words? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment. I'm out. See you all later.